Building block number 3, Cascading Stylesheets. Let's talk a little bit about what CSS is. CSS, or Cascading Stylesheets, define how to display HTML elements on your page. They were developed to solve problems with layout and to give you more flexibility with your HTML than putting font tags and table tags right in your code. Usually, and especially in Joomla, we use external style sheets. They save a lot of time, and you're able to change major portions of your template, usually with just a few keystrokes. Styles solved a big problem. HTML originally was never intended to contain tags for formatting a document. It was intended to define the content of the document, like a heading or a paragraph. When font tags were introduced, it started to really mess up code and create major hassles for people when they wanted to update their sites. So CSS, especially external style sheets, really saves a lot of time. CSS syntax has two main parts, a selector and one or more declarations. Alright, let's dive into some basic CSS for our Joomla template. Alright, let's head back into our test directory, and we still have our index.php and our template details.xml. Now let's create a new folder called CSS. Double-click to get into that folder. Of course, it's empty. The first thing we need to do is add a new file called index.html and leave it blank. Now let's create a file called template.css. All of our CSS files need to have an extension of .css. Now go back, open your index.php, and from the notes below, replace this head command. Go ahead and copy and paste this style sheet link into your index.php. Note a couple of things here. templates/test/css/template.css should correspond to the file structure we've created together. If not, make sure you change this. The $!PHP symbol starts a PHP command which writes this base URL to the page, which in this case would be localhost, and normally it would be your main website. This is important because if you were to use this template anywhere else, in a different URL, if you hard-coded the URL in, the template would break. This way, it's completely flexible. Go ahead and save that, and if we look at the source code for our page, we now see that style sheet is linked completely in. Go into your CSS folder, open the template.css file, and now copy and paste the content from the notes below. Let me again remind you, semicolons, colons, number signs, all of these are very important. As I mentioned a moment ago, this is the selector. These are the declarations. What you start with a curly bracket, you must end with a right curly bracket. Right now, copying and pasting really is your friend. Go ahead and paste in the rest of that information. The A selector is for links. So our link color is going to be number 333, and we'll look at that in just a moment. Text decoration is underlined, so now all of our links will be underlined. And you probably noticed earlier, all of the little images on the page had borders around them. This says that no images can have a border. If I press save, go back over to my web page, hit refresh, you'll notice a few things. Wow. Our background color is now pink, and our images have no border. Remember the tool called Firebug we talked about in the first session? Go ahead and click on that little Firebug, and you can see the background color is what we commanded it to be, and the color of the font is now yellow. This is really cool about Firebug. It lets you see different aspects of your web page. If I wanted to get rid of that background, I could just click. Now, that doesn't actually get rid of the background in my CSS file. It just shows me what it would be like if it wasn't there. And I can click again to bring it back, and if I change that color, it goes back to the standard black. Not real pretty, but hey, it certainly shows off what the commands can do. We're going to spend a lot more time working in the CSS for our templates. But if you want to jump ahead a little bit, or just take a break, there are some great CSS tutorials online, and those links are below. And I'd encourage you to just play and have some fun with this and see what you can do. If not, let's head over to the next session.